Well, here's some good news. This 420's back together. Obviously, I still have a couple of tool sets out, but that's because I'm just looking it over and make sure I get everything tight. Other than the mower deck, this thing is actually done. And what the final straw was, electric fuel pump, and then mechanical one. You can see that guy down there. The nipples are broken off of it too. That's the third one that's broken them. So I said, F it, I'm going to this guy. And I sure as hell don't regret it. This is marvelous. It's magnificently better than the other one is. I don't have to sit there and crank on it. All I gotta do is turn the key on, and I have a clean enough fuel filter as well that I can actually see all my fuel there. And voila. It'll take maybe 5 seconds to start once the fuel's primed. About the only thing I have left of concern to fix on this thing would be power steering, the in and out on the cylinder ram. For some reason, both leak. The rear one leaks a little more, actually. But I don't think there's anything else for maintenance that needs done. It's just routine maintenance, such as greasing, changing of fluids, and whatever else have you along the lines. I did spray a little primer onto where the powder coat's coming off in here. It's really getting nasty on the inside. Thankfully, I had a spare battery box from the other 420. I'm kind of thankful that I bought that other 420, honestly, because I've had so many parts put on this one from that one. But I painted that battery box and threw it in there because the old one had a hole in it, and I'm surprised the battery didn't just fall in. So that's fixed. That's a problem I didn't even know I had. This is not exactly the best wiring job. I'm sure you noticed that, and if you didn't, well, I'm just going to point it out so you don't have to find it later if you do see it. There is a butt connector under there, though, the clamp type. This tape's there just for protection. Really, the only thing left we have to do, actually, now that I think about it, is we have to solder the three-way connection where the splice is down there before the ignition. I think it's the ignition wire, the hot side for the switch. We have to solder that instead of using a clamp butt connector. I can't remember what that's called. I used to remember it. But regardless, wiring is sorted. So, well, that didn't sound happy. I don't know what that was, but regardless, it works. So next step is for me to go throw on the deck, and then we're going to go cut the yard because this poor son of a bitch needs to be cut. I think it's probably in some places 8 inches or more, so we'll put this thing to the test and seat them rings after a year of sitting. So I'm going to finish buttoning up stuff because I just noticed that my headlight switch, harness per se, is not hooked up. So I'm going to hook that up and then do a final run through and then move on to the deck. So I probably should have done this a little while ago when I first started, but I've mowed a good majority of the yard already. I've done some back there by the pond. The clacking you hear is the fuel pump. It is kind of noisy, but it's no big deal. It works, it runs. Mower deck's really quiet like I remember it being. Engine's pretty nice. The valve clattering went away since I adjusted it. Power steering's still pretty loose, but for 1,400 hours, that's about right though. I think I do need to sharpen the blades a touch because kind of cutting a slight bit funky. Maybe raise it a little bit just because it's kind of turning the grass a little bit brown, but I don't know. The reason why this thing got finally fixed now, and quite frankly needed to have been fixed now because it's been sitting for a year, the zero turn had its tire pop on us, so it's been down for a good while now, probably about a month actually, and I've been mowing with a 316. The 316 just can't do this yard in a timely manner, especially that over there. I got to get the zero turn fixed to do that because this thing just can't do it. So, I mean, it runs like a dream. It doesn't quit running like it used to. It would sometimes just randomly stall out. I thought it was overheating, but maybe it's just looking for, it was for searching for fuel. I don't know. I think it is running still a little rich, so I might have to get in there and adjust the screw, but it does not like to be put to work on very thick grass. These 60-inch decks and a 20 horsepower Onan, as much as I hate to say it, they really don't go well together. You can't really mow very tall grass before it starts to stall out. Like, this is its limit. I can only go less than half of my forward motion on the hydro before it starts to kind of decide, hey, I don't like this, and it decides to get a little rough with it. About like that. Not a full turn, but I'm also holding the camera so I can. This is about as fast as I can do. It's not straight lines, but like I said, the steering's pretty loose, so I try my best to keep it as straight as I can. The zero turn doesn't look any better because I'm pretty sure the hydro has some slop in it, or at least the levers do. Yeah, you can hear it lugging down now. It's getting pretty good. I'm overlapping a good bit too, so that's kind of surprising. Yeah, now it's starting to not like it. Yeah, there it goes. These are very nice cutting decks, but they have a problem with airflow and the fact they honestly require 22 horsepower or more. This 20 horsepower on it's just barely cutting it. So 430 diesel would definitely be able to take care with the 60-inch deck a lot better. Especially since the opposed twin Onans are gas hogs. This thing probably burns through I give it 5 gallons of gas in about 3 hours. It's not very fuel efficient, but that could be because it's, what, 30, 40 years old now? It's getting pretty worn out. Sometimes I'm surprised. It's a nice machine, but the lower deck is just a little big for this. I don't really like cutting with a 50 though, because the 50s don't cut as well as the 60, and which is kind of ironic because they're supposed to have better airflow than a 60. I think my power steering needs to be looked at too. Turning to the right doesn't work as well, but turning to the left it just full locks. That was horrible. Ah, well. Good thing I'm not a professional landscaper for the moment. Here it might not like, because this is where thicker grass grows right about here. That my grass clippings are a little bit into this row, so. That's a nice rut. Oh yeah, she don't like this. This grass ain't very tall either. The zero turn would just punch right through it. As much as I hate that junk Kawasaki V-twin that's in it, it eats the grass up. I'll give it that. It loves to eat the grass up. So I'm probably going to call it here. This project's done. You may see some new stuff in the future. Maybe not. I don't know yet. So, get you guys in the next one.